What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me again for another episode of Lackluster Gaming. I'm your host, Dale, and today we're going to jump into the clone challenge. Now, you guys know from my previous episodes how badly I do at these things. They just never work in my favor, and I don't expect like today's going to be any different. Usually when I record, I fail miserably, and once I have you guys turned off, I tend to excel a little bit. Now today, so this is the deck. Obviously we need the clone, it's locked into place, and I put in the log in the zap. I was contemplating possibly using arrows, just 2 different resources, in order for me to chop down any clones very quickly. The zap is probably the most fundamental tool in this deck, or any deck, when dealing with somebody using the clone spell. So I've also got archers because they have a semi-high rate of fire, and I'm expecting a lot of lava loon noobs, and I'm going to use a balloon myself. Hey! So, balloons, when cloned, extremely lethal. Giant skeleton, when cloned, extremely lethal. Now we're also going to use the bats, which I don't have a lot of experience using, but I'm just going to consider them as cheap minions because, let's face it, it's what they are. And I also have the furnace. Now, it took me a little bit of time to decide on whether to use the furnace, the tombstone, cannon, or inferno tower, but I decided to go with the furnace just because it's going to give me that little bit of splash damage that might prevent somebody from getting a cloned balloon or a cloned giant skeleton onto one of my towers. So, without further ado, let's swipe over. There's our deck, and as you can see, we get 6 battles, right? You lose 3, you're out. At 2, you win 1 clone spell. Whoop-dee. At 4 wins, you get 1 clone spell. And at 6 wins, you get 1 clone spell. Is it an epic card? Is that why? It is. It is an epic card, isn't it? It is, indeed. Okay, so anyway, let's do it. It was 10 gems. It's bought and paid for. Let's get into the first battle and see what we can procure from this transaction. Alright, going up against Caballero Scuro, and of course, probably knows I'm going to start off with the giant skeleton. He's going with, with this. Luckily, the archer is one of my favorite cards in the game, primarily because of the fact that they just demolish, they just destroy the graveyard spell. Now, we're probably going to need to support this giant skeleton. The bats will seem to do some decent stuff. Let's go ahead and clone, and it cloned a little too late. Didn't see the fireball coming, that's alright. We were able to take care of that stuff, and look at those archers. When left undefended, they do make it to the tower. We're going to go ahead and drop a furnace right in the middle, set up for a defense, just build up some elixir. So, we don't know exactly what this guy has for his win condition other than his giant, his graveyard spell. So, we're going to be careful. We are going to assume that he's got some kind of tank other than guards, hopefully. I don't know, maybe he doesn't know how to build a deck, or maybe it's a good deck and I just don't know it. But we're going to start with another giant skeleton push. Since we already have some damage on the left side, we're going to go ahead and push that route. Luckily, he's used his cannon and he's just dropped his archer, so I know not to use the balloon just yet. But we're going to go ahead and log, and, oh, that was perfect log, actually. And now we're gonna just kind of wait this one out, because it looks like it's just gonna clear up everything right here. And now we're gonna be able to, let's see, take out that archer. And I know I'm wasting elixir, but here we go with that. And because he just used the archers, oh, they are back in place. But look at this. 1, 2, and we're gonna get a little bit of damage, and I was hoping it would take out both of those archers, but unfortunately did not, but it did damage 1, so that's good enough for me. Let's go ahead with another giant skeleton push. We're going to go right at the bridge, this time using the bats to defend against the graveyard. And if he takes out those bats, then we will place down the archers. But if not, yeah, that's not going to do anything. Well, I think we're going up against somebody who we're not going to have too much issue with, realistically. Let's go ahead and put some archers down right here. As long as we can just chip away at this guy's tower. Let's see if we can... Oh! The clone was a little bit late. That was my bad. Very much like the heal spell, it's a difficult spell to time properly unless you're very experienced with it. And I am not. I certainly am not. And look at that. The furnace just chipping away very lightly. We're going to use our bats right here. We know I've got a log We knew the fireball was coming because he did it last time, and that is okay. So we'll go ahead and log. He's not going to get too much damage right there. Let's go ahead and use our balloon once more. The barbarians are completely gone. Let's go ahead and clone the balloon a little bit. Oh, another miss with the clone spell. Can we get a little bit of splash damage? I don't believe we're going to, but let's go with the giant skeleton and just kind of repeat the process. Realistically, I'm going to use the archers this time for the graveyard spell. I'm expecting the fireball, but he did actually use the barbarians to combat that giant skeleton, so we were unable to, he was unable to use that fireball spell properly. Okay, there we go. Boom. Can we take something out? Can we get a little bit of damage, please? Just a little bit. Take out those. This is really going nowhere. It's just a constant back and forth between the two of us. This time I'm going to use the bats, try to help that giant skeleton. We're also going to use the log here, and boom, there we go. Giant skeleton now cloned. There's the guards. Take those out really quickly, as well as those fire spirits. And look at those bats taking out the tower for the win. Got no cloned anything onto the tower, but we still took a victory. So that's kind of nice. So let's jump into the next battle. I'm not going to change the deck up just yet. If I see that maybe I should actually. I don't want to use a lava loon. We're just going to use the same one for now. It worked once. If it loses me a battle, we'll change something out or move some things around. But let me know down in the comment section, what deck are you guys using for these clone challenges? Now, I know I like to use a clone combination with golems, balloons, etc. Golems, balloons, and giant skeletons. While ooh, this guy is using a big giant push. Now I want to wait until that that wizard locks on. This is actually not going very well for me right now. We're gonna go ahead and go there. We're gonna go giant skeleton. Hopefully, nope. Both wizards actually lock on. This is a game over. Maybe we'll copy this guy's deck because it seems to have just completely destroyed me just now, but luckily we'll take care of all of that. And I mean, sometimes one good push is all you need, and it works, and the deck that you're going up against is just not prepared well enough at all to be able to combat it. But he just used both of his wizards. There's his princess. The princess is now locked on over there, so let's go ahead and drop a balloon. Let's see if he brought enough defense. Let's go ahead and clone that and see if we can at least get one. Nope, we will get a little bit of damage onto that. Now let's go ahead and drop our log, take care of that princess, and drop the bats just to combat that that giant. Now we've got our zap spell, so we will be able to zap this guy out right here before we die completely, but we are going, yeah, we're dead. We're done. That's it. It's game. Now this guy didn't know that the clone actually resets the Inferno Dragon, so he could have 3-crowned me right there without cloning, but well played. You know, sometimes people just don't understand how the cards work, and that's understandable. It's a card that nobody really uses very often, and because of that, and this guy has barbarians in his deck, more than likely specifically for the giant skeleton, which is very smart. So we're going to go with another balloon. He's probably going to drop his Inferno Dragon, so we're going to go with our bats this time. Let's go ahead and zap him. Boom. And now we will get the balloon. Oh, not even one drop onto the tower, and that's just the unfortunate part of sucking at this game, is that like, I won't ever win anything. And this guy's gonna 2-crown me at least, and he's got a little bit of time. We're gonna drop our bats to combat those barbarians right there. And we do have a giant skeleton and a what do you call it, end of this thingy. So let's see, come on. Now the Inferno Dragon is dead because of that, so we're going to drop our balloon and our archers. See if we can get a decent push going. Maybe those archers will take out that Electro Wizard, just so we can get something to the tower. I just want just one tower. Come on, bring it to me. There we go. There's our one tower. Let's go ahead with the giant skeleton in the middle. I think if I really pushed it into like double overtime, or if they gave me like a 3-minute, or if I had tied it up, maybe, who knows. Anyway, we took a loss for the second battle. That's all right. Let's go ahead and change up the deck, though. As I was mentioning before, for 2v2 battles, I like to use a golem. And cloned golems are surprisingly powerful. I mean, you guys know that they would be. just in general. And I think I'm going to keep the rest of the deck pretty much the same. It is fairly expensive at 3.6 average elixir cost, and I do not have a pump, and that's unfortunate, but you know, this is all for fun in the first place. We're just kind of testing out different ideas. I want to know yours, so again, down below, leave me what deck you guys are using. If you guys have had success, especially, hit me up on Twitter, send me a picture of the deck, and possibly, I've got some time today, so if the deck is really nice, I will actually, more than likely, use the deck in a video. So let's go ahead and use these bats, these archers, to distract, and it looks like we will destroy that giant skeleton. We're gonna go ahead and leave the okay, we're gonna go ahead and zap all that out, and then we're gonna go ahead and clone the golem. There we go. Okay, so just 2 golems, right? The cloned golem. Watch how much damage this guy's gonna get with no support troops. We almost take out, might even actually completely eliminate his one tower. So now you can see why tower's gone. Tower's dead. So now you guys understand why I like the golem clone as opposed to the giant skeleton or the balloon clone. Even though they're fun, they're definitely rewarding once they get to the tower, if you get them to the tower. However, sometimes it just doesn't happen for you, and that's okay. So let's go ahead. We're going to drop our bats right here. Just take out that that mega minion and save our archers for right here. We're also going to drop our golem. That way our archers and our tower will be able to take out that giant skeleton. Giant skeleton will chase on that golem, and that is perfect. Let's go ahead and drop a furnace right here. That'll take out that goblin gang. Well, and it'll also do a little bit of damage onto that giant skeleton. But look at that, just one golem with no support troops. Since this guy had no defense for it whatsoever, kind of an unnecessary log. Those fire spirits would have definitely got it, but I definitely want to keep that furnace alive as long as possible, so we'll use the bats right there. And now let's go with a balloon and some archers in the back. Let's go ahead and clone that out, and hopefully that bomb blast will take out that, yes, perfect, take out that baby dragon and the princess. So let's go golem at the bridge, and let's also log right there just to take out all of that. Let's go ahead and support it with the bats and our archers, because we now are in double elixir this overtimeage. And you know what, let's just troll them, put the furnace on the opposite side. That'll take out the princess right there, and boom, there's the second tower for us, which is perfect. And this guy somehow thinks that he's going to get his giant skeleton to the tower, but the golem is much more powerful, and we will have no problem whatsoever with the last remaining seconds of that match. So we got one epic card, right? So we won 2 matches, we get that one epic card, boom, easy money. Let's go ahead and collect that. We're also working towards our crown chest, which is absolutely amazing. I haven't eaten anything today, and I'm getting a little famished, but yeah, level 3 clone. I haven't even upgraded it to tournament standards. That's kind of sad. You can tell how much it gets used. It was a good concept, great idea, but definitely not something that you see very often, especially on the ladder. Do you guys even play the ladder anymore? I haven't played the ladder in ages. If I do, it's an accident. Normally, if I hit the battle button to play on the ladder, it's because I was trying to hit a 2v2, and you know, I was kind of hoping that this challenge would be a 2v2, but it wasn't. So let's get into another battle. We get 2 more losses before this video ends. Not sponsored yet, but speaking of sponsorships, if you guys know, there's a game called Big Bang Racing. Okay, this guy just dropped a, what do you call it? A thingy thing. So we're going to go ahead and distract all of that. We will get the balloon to the tower for 1, almost 2 drops. Not quite. The furnace will take out his little, his other cards. It'll take a little bit of damage. That's alright. Now this guy is going to have the elixir advantage, and this is exactly why I've kept the archers in this deck. I love the archers. Archers are possibly my favorite card in the game. I'll tell you why. Let's watch this. We're going to drop our archers in the back. Now, he's probably got lightning or something like that, so that's going to be unfortunate. However, We also have our furnace, so we're going to be able to, utilize the splash damage to take out those minions. Make sure that we, we'll zap that stuff. But watch these archers and the bats just completely obliterate that entire thing. Now, he's got cloned. Oh, my goodness. Thank God we took out that. Okay. Now we got our archers back, so we'll put them right in the center. Now we're going to take some serious damage here from these double mirrored night witches. Yeah, that's a tower. That's a tower gone. Well played. It was actually well played. I did not expect him to be able to overtake me that quickly, but now we're going to start on a decent push. We're going to start with a golem all the way in the back, and we're going to work towards a 3 crown on this one. So what I'm going to do is I am going to place my golem behind the king tower. He's just placed down a pump. He was more than likely expecting me to utilize a balloon. However, in this instance, what we're gonna do, and he's actually gonna move towards a 3 crown as well. So we are gonna start with our furnace next to this here, and he is now mirrored. His night witches. We're going to drop our bats. We're going to drop our archers in the back. We're going to clone all of that, and the bomb from the balloon will clear up some of that mess. The golem has gotten to the tower, and look at that. We're going to soak up a little bit of damage over here, and that's all right, but we're going to go ahead and drop a balloon as defense right there, which is very interesting, and it's actually a little bit too far out of the way, and this guy's deck is really cool. I'm actually really enjoying it. Look at that. Really well played. Wow! Whoa, he totally overtook me. That was absolutely unexpected. Very well played to Felipe from Renegados. Okay, so here we go. 2 losses. 1 more and we're done. I kind of want to use this guy's deck, so give me a second. I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to use that guy's deck. I'll be right back. Alright, so here is the new deck that we were just slaughtered with. 3 crowned, in fact. It's a Lava Hound deck utilizing the Night Witch. I don't know if you guys tuned in for my last challenge, the Mortar challenge, but I didn't utilize the Night Witch because I didn't remember that you can actually you have access to all of the cards in the game while competing in these challenges. So this time, final deck. More than likely, this will be the final deck of the video. We've got the Clone, the Night Witch, the Knight, the Goblin Gang, the Lava Hound, the Pump, the Mirror, and the Minions. Now, it's a very odd deck. I've never used it before, so don't expect too much, but let's jump into a battle with it and see what we can do. And you guys saw just how absolutely insane it was, those mirrored Night Witches. So let's go ahead and just start off with the mirrored Night Witches and see, what it'll bring to us. Now, this guy drops a bomber and a normal witch and clones right off the bat. That's all right. And I dropped my minions, which was definitely a mistake. Unfortunately, I just realized now this deck has nothing to combat the clones, which is very odd. We're going to drop the Goblin Gang right up on top, even though that witch has that splash damage. And we're going to take a little bit of damage right there from those skeletons and that musketeer, but that's okay. So, this guy, oh man, now I got to drop 5 elixir just to combat that princess, which kind of sucks. But let's go ahead and clone right there. And let's see how many bats we can get onto that tower. Look at that. Very, very interesting, and tied up the game with a very, very simple play. Let's go ahead and use our minions right up here, and we're going to use our knight also. Now, if you guys didn't know, the knight by itself, a knight versus a giant skeleton, the knight will win every single time, unless you have some other supporting troops. So I dropped my Goblin Gang, hoping to combat her. I'm going to have to use my Night Witch as well to pull off some of those skellies and to take care of that musketeer. So that was a little bit unfortunate, but we do have the ability to mirror her, and I'm going to have to because this guy just drops elixir every second that he can, which is just, it's annoying. It's really annoying when people just drop elixir. Just continuously drop elixir, and especially when you're using a very high cost deck. I'm gonna drop my pump because we got 1 minute left. We're going to use our minions here. This guy, okay, now we got the clone going. Let's go ahead and Goblin Gang right here in the middle. He's probably going to take this tower. That was pretty well played because of that pump placement. And he's going to get actually both giant skeletons to the tower. So let's get our Night Witch out there, get her moving. And now, let's see. We got to get going. Got to get going or we're going to lose this. So we're going right here with the knight right in the center. We're going to use all of that. This guy is just totally wrecking me right now. And that's okay. Oh my goodness. Dude, am I horrible at this or what? Game over. Alright. Well, that concludes today's episode. Obviously, you saw how good it was pushed against me, right? So it's a decent deck. I just don't know how to use it. I'm going to have to play around with it. Once Supercell actually gives me a Night Witch or allows me to purchase one from the shop, because they still have not done so yet. Was it been like a month since the Night Witch was released? Anyway, 2 wins, 3 losses. I mean, technically it's a 40% win rate, so it's not that bad. I'm bound to win another one later. Anyway, hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what decks you guys are using for this challenge. The link for my Twitter and Facebook are down below in the description, or just leave it as a comment down below. But don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until next time, guys, love you. Peace out. Actually, let's open this chest. Nothing. Bye.